signals we get from the different components. We've looked at the future component, we've looked at the current component, and then of course we've looked at the historical component, and a quick refresher of the candles. Now we've got a challenge. What's the challenge? Now it's time to pull everything together. So how do we want to start pulling everything together? Because there's so many signals, there's so much information that we can take from these Ichimoku clouds. So here's what we're going to do. The challenge is to interpret the data. We need to understand that on their own, each component gives signals that can be traded. And that's one of the key things that is interesting about the Ichimoku system. It is tempting at times to say, I just want to use the cloud data. I don't necessarily want to use the current or the historical information. Or it may be tempting to say, I just want to use the current and forget the other stuff. That's confusing. You could do that, but that's not the way the system's designed. That's not the way all these components are intended to work together. But what's interesting is that each of those components do give powerful signals. I work with students who say, hey, I really just like these signals I get from the cloud, and they're like, I don't understand Chiku, I don't understand the current stuff. I just want to ignore that. Well, you could do that, but again, you're going to get your strongest signals when you start to combine everything together. So keep that in mind. You get signals individually. If there's something you're not understanding, just dig a little bit deeper into that component. All right, so ultimately you can, break them out, combine them, customize them, use them on your own style. But I want to try to teach you the traditional way, the more customized way, more traditional way of how you use it. And then if you want to customize that later, you can come back behind that and do it. So how do we learn this? How do we learn the traditional way? Well, here's the process we're going to walk through. We're going to walk through literally piece by piece. We're going to start with each component, and we're going to learn each of the signals. We're going to go back historically, back trade it, do your trader conditioning on it, learn the components piece by piece, get comfortable with that, and then we're going to add an additional component. Then we'll add the candlesticks to each of those components, and then we're going to add the multiple components together. So it's going to be a multi-part process of building all this up, and that's what we're going to start doing right here. So the next video, we're going to jump right in to getting the key data from the clouds and interpreting that information.